Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Inside USF Basketball. I'm your host, Pat Olson. In this episode, we'll sit down with USF head coach Rex Walters. We'll look back at the Dons' win over San Diego, and we'll look ahead to the upcoming West Coast Conference postseason tournament as the Dons enter as the number 5 seed. Also, we'll discuss Cole Dickerson, the West Coast Conference Player of the Week. All that coming up next. Well, Rex, as we open up this edition, let's look back at your win over San Diego. You jumped them early. They came out with a little couple of runs in the second half, but you guys did a good job of holding them off. Your thoughts on that road win over the Toreros?
Offensively, we were pretty good. You know, clipping the tape. I think we had about 18 really good defensive possessions. We had a lot of offensive possessions. The ball was moving, finding open guys. Guys shot the ball well. But we were pretty efficient. You know, we were pretty efficient in that game.
Cole Dickerson finished with 24 points, 12 rebounds, was just named the West Coast Conference Player of the Week. Nice accolade for him.
He was a monster. He was a monster on both sides of the basketball, scoring the ball, shooting the basketball, posting up. Made some plays off the bounce as well. He was pretty darn good. You know, it makes him tougher to guard when you got Mark out there as well, and Mark can spread the floor. Shooting threes, attacking the basket, off of ball screen action. Guys were finding them. You know, those two guys playing together, they play against each other so much, but now playing together. It was similar, you know, towards the end of the season when you would play Cole and Angelo together. You know, Angelo's a little more experienced than Mark, but Mark defensively was really good as well. Mark and Frank both denying the post. When the post did catch it, you know, presenting some difficulties. You know, Mark's got a lot better at that as well. So those two get together, at times they can be really tough to guard.
It was nice to see Chris Adams back after the little health scare that he had. You know, you look at his line from an offensive perspective, not sexy. He was 0 for 5 shooting the ball. He scored 1 point, but yet, you know, I got in the team bus after the game feeling like he played well because he really defended. You know, his defensive effort the last 3 to 4 weeks, he's really locked down guys. Talk about what he's brought to you defensively, because Johnny D, their big shooter, only got 10 shots off, and if he's only going to, you know, get 10 field goal attempts, you're going to have a chance to beat San Diego.
No, Chris is a great chaser. You know, for a guy that has to guard people coming off a lot of screens, fighting through screens, for a catch and shoot guy, Chris is a good matchup for that. He's got really good doing that. You know, you have to have some toughness, you have to have speed, you have to have some length. I mean, he's a big shooting guard at 6'3". He can present some problems. He made Johnny D work for everything.
Let's preview the West Coast Conference postseason tournament. You go in as the number 5 seed. Talk about what it means to finish in 5th place. At one point, your club was sitting 0-5, and the team you passed for 5th place, San Diego, was at 4-0, and your young team made a tremendous turnaround, and they end up 7-9, and you go in with that little extra, you know, added momentum and the chance that you get to play a team that will have played the night before.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is something. You know, our guys, we started off the league slow. The month of December was difficult, and then it moved into January, and we weren't playing great basketball at that point. But our guys started to figure some things out in terms of how we play, what we try to get done defensively. You know, we were still, you know, it didn't say I'm the smartest guy. We're trying to find a rotation in terms of post play, and finally we've really settled on, you know, Mark and Cole, and just putting our best offensive players on the floor and trying to get them to play defensively. We played everyone tough with the exception of maybe Santa Clara, Gonzaga on the road. Even though we had a couple dry spells, our guys kept competing the entire night, and I thought that you know, paid dividends towards the end of the season. We really started to play some good basketball.
You're going to play the winner of Loyola Marymount and Portland. Let's go team by team. The Lions present problems because Anthony Ireland, I think he's one of the more exciting point guards in the league to watch. And he's a guy that can go off and come out and play loose and free. They got nothing to lose.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the all-conference stuff. You know, we look at numbers a lot, and, you know, Cody Doolin is you know, people will watch him and be like, oh, okay, he's a good player. I mean, he's the third most efficient point guard in our league. Anthony Ireland's the first. You know, Anthony can really score it. They've been plagued by injuries, but they're really dangerous because they got two really good players, and in terms of Anthony Ireland and Ashley Hamilton. We have to do a great job of making Anthony work for everything. It's hard, though, because he brings it up. So you got to make him work to get open. You got to make him work when he's coming off ball screens. You got to make him work when he's coming off pin downs and doubles. It presents a lot of problems, and Hamilton can score it inside and out. Is a skilled four. You know, they're playing teams down to the wire. They've had a couple bad losses, but you know, that last game against BYU, I mean, they're right there. We beat them by a grand total of 1 layup, you know, at their place, and it was not easy at our place as well. It's a difficult matchup. It's tournament play. There's a finality to it. We haven't played with a finality game like that. Last year's group, they've been through that before, and we were able to, you know, get a couple wins in the tournament. You know, this group is capable. It's capable of making a run, but Loyola Marymount presents a lot of problems.
And if it's the Pilots that you face, you know, you had 2 tough games against Portland. You eke one out up at their place, and then at home, you know, they got a lot of inside baskets. I know you weren't happy with the way you defended against them on the home floor, and that's a team that also has matched up well against you this season.
Yeah, their size presents problems. You know, you got Vandemars, who's, you know, legit 6'11", 7 foot. Ryan Nicholas is a skilled four that can step outside and post up. Kevin Bailey, 6'6", 3-man. You know, they've started to play better basketball towards the end of the conference schedule, and you know, they're just going to grind. They're just going to keep working. They'll have a lot of confidence if they can get past Loyola Marymount. Loyola Marymount will too. They'll have a lot of confidence when they play against us, but you know, it's going to come down to, can we do what we do in that game.
What kind of challenges are in front of you to try and go in there and win 4 games in 5 nights?
I'm not even thinking about the second game. You know, quite honestly. We're watching tape, and my staff is watching tape of Loyola Marymount, and we're watching tape of Portland, and I sometimes forget who we play after that, and I really don't care. You know, we have a saying in tournament play, it's survive and advance, and we'll deal with whoever we're playing the next one, and if we're fortunate enough to walk away with a W on Thursday, our turnaround time's a little bit quicker, and our preparation time turns around a little bit quicker, and we talk about the next team once we get there.
Your team has played pretty well in league games when they've gotten on airplanes of 5-3 away from our Memorial Gym.
For a long time, though, we couldn't win in Vegas. We played neutral tournaments and didn't have a lot of success in the West Coast Conference. And 2 years ago, we started to get a better feel for playing in that city. So this is a new group, and I think that they're excited about it. It was good to see guys. We're off today. It was good to see guys in the gym and, you know, joking around a little bit and shooting the basketball shot with a couple of our guys today. And it's the best time of the year. You get to March, and that's when it's a heck of a lot of fun.
Final question for you, Coach. How do you feel about your team and the way they're playing as you go into Las Vegas? You've won the last 3 games.
I know. I feel good about our team. You know, this team has worked hard. I mean, I nominated 3 guys for their all-freshman team. I nominated 2 guys for the all-league team. I nominated 1 guy for the newcomer of the year, 1 guy for the defensive player of the year, and we had a lot. The most questions we've ever had about a team going into a season was this year. You know, with what the roster was going to happen, who was going to step forward. I think Dean Parker is good in any guard in our league at 6'5". Cody Doolan taking over a leadership role. It's difficult. It's a different role for him. He's done a great job. Cole Dickerson was a 6th or 7th guy last year. He's now an all-league guy, 2-time player of the week. And I think Mark Tollefson has found himself at 6'9". He could probably one of the best freshman numbers of any guy we've ever had here, and it only took me 25 games to figure out I need to put him in the starting role. You know, it's a good group. It's a fun group. I like them a lot right now. Tomorrow, as we start practice, I won't like them at all. But it's been a fun group to coach, and now, you know, you give them the keys, and how far are you going to take us, you know, and we've done a lot of work. We still have a lot of work ahead of us, but I'm excited for us to go to Vegas and see where the chips may fall.
Coach, appreciate the time. Let's hope for an extended stay down there in Las Vegas.
That'd be nice. Thank you.